I'm Sarah Glatz, and I'm going to show you how to use Evernote on your iPad. What's Evernote, you might be thinking? Maybe not if you're watching this. Evernote is a tool to capture and organize just about anything you can think of on any device you can think of. You can use it on Android, iPad, iPhone, computer, Mac, Windows, web, whatever. I love Evernote. Today, I should say, before I get started too far, today is October 15th, and the reason I'm telling you this is that if you're watching this video 6 months or a year from now, you'll know that some things may be outdated. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is log in or create an account. I'm sitting here at the login screen. If you've never logged in before, you would click this button right here, or create an account, which is what I'm going to do right now. And then this changes to or sign in. And so you can put in your email address and password and create an account. So now I've typed in my information and I'm ready to sign in. Signing in. There we go. Okay, so when you log in, you may not have all this stuff over here if you've never logged in before. These are just a few notes that I've made. So just to get started, let's get familiar with the home screen here. We have the settings. This is a chat feature that's kind of new, and I'm not going to talk about that in this podcast because I have yet to play with it, and I'm going to do that later. This is a sync button, and you would tap this if you wanted to. It automatically syncs over time, but if you wanted to sync right away with the internet so you could get it on another device right away, you might tap on that. And this is search, because in my other account where I have 1,000 notes, that's necessary if I'm looking for something. Here is where you would create new material right here, and then this here is a list of your things. So here we have, we'll talk about hierarchy a little bit. On the lowest level we have notes, so these are just anything that you might add, a document, a picture, a video, an audio file, just a checklist, anything you would throw in there would be a note. And those have names on them and you can organize them that way by site. And then another way to organize them is the next level up, which is called a notebook. And notebooks are collections of notes. So you could have a notebook for each class, or you could have a notebook for personal and one for work or something like that. I have one in here called First Notebook. So if I tap on the notebook, you'll see, now you can see all the notes that are inside of that notebook. And you can have as many notebooks as you want. To get back to the home screen from any screen, you would tap on the elephant head up here on the left. So I'm going to tap that and then back, and I'm back to where I started. There's one more level up above notebooks called stacks. You can have stacks of notebooks. So I could have a school stack with social studies, science, language arts, math, and then I could have a personal stack with recipes and receipts and hobbies and things like that. So we're not going to talk about stacks today, but just know that that can also be done. So that's kind of it for the home screen. So let's add some content now. Let's look in our notes. Above the notes section, we have these 5 little dots here, and I'm going to say right away there's a lot of different ways to add content. So I may show you a way, and there may be 3 other ways to do it that we'll stumble on. But if I'm just going to enter a text note, I'm going to click on this first one right here, and it brings up a screen where I can type in some text. So typing text. I'm going to tap up at the top here where it says note right here, and I'm going to tap in there so that I can give my note a name. Giving it a name helps me know what's in it, of course. So I'm going to call this Saturday Stuff. There. Okay, and then I'm going to tap in here. Just under that, it shows me that Saturday Stuff is going to be in First Notebook. So I can leave it there. If I tap right there, I can put my note in a different notebook or create a new notebook. So I could say home. I'll call this whole notebook home. Done. Okay. So now I'll see my new notebook, and it's going to be going into home. So I've typed some text. And as you can see, there's a formatting bar down here. And these are all pretty typical for most other apps, except for this one right here. This is kind of a cool feature of Evernote. if I tap that, I'm going to make a checklist with check boxes. So I can say, do dishes. I'm a Siri user, so walk the dog. And there's a short word I don't mind typing, run. Okay, so there's a to-do list that I have on here. And so I could save it like that, or I could go up here and set a reminder. So I could tap that and say, I want this note to notify me at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Done. And so I would get an email tomorrow morning, and you can see that I've activated it here, at 8 o'clock to look at this note. And then I could log in and check off what I've done and save it. So there's entering text, formatting text, adding a checklist. Okay, so I'm going to tap the camera right here to open up the camera and make a photo note. So if I tap camera, bear with me here. We got a lot of things going on the desk. All right, so I'll take a picture of my mic. Snap. Okay, and if you can see, once I take the photo, there's a little check mark right here. So I'm going to tap on that check mark, and that's going to tell Evernote that I want to save the photo. And then Evernote will put it in a note, which we will wait patiently for here. And it's called Snapshot right over here, Snapshot. So I'm going to tap on Snapshot there, and then you can see my snapshot. And you can tell that I did this earlier and called it Snowball Mike. But at any rate, I could tap right in Snapshot here and rename it to microphone. There we go. And I could tap here on first notebook as well and change that to home and move it to another notebook. So that's, I could also add some text within the note. I could say, whoops, here is a photo of the microphone that I am using today, period. There. Okay, so now I have a new note that shows you the microphone that I'm using, and I will close it. Close. Okay. So that's one way I can make notes and organize them. I can add, if I tap the photos one here, I can put a photo from my camera roll. So I'll just take the Portland Peninsula there and select that. Done. I could have selected 5 or 6. I just chose one of them. And then I will get another note here called camera roll as the default name. And then I can tap on it and call it Portland Peninsula. There. And I'm going to put that one in home as well. Home. There. And close. Okay, so I'm making notes and sticking them in folders here. The next one, reminders, that's going to be the same thing as when I was in text, and it just sets a reminder, and I can put in a task name like pick up Sally, and set the time and date, and then set my reminder. So that will remind me to pick up Sally. And list, I can poke into that real quick. List is going to just be the same thing as if I were in the text and I tapped here. So as you can see, there's a lot of different ways to do things. Another cool thing we can do is up here, set reminder again, or take a photo, or go to the camera roll, and also a voice note. So if I tap on that, I can make an audio note that saves as an audio file. This would be a good idea if I was wanting to record a class I was sitting in and take written notes at the same time. I could save them all in the same file. There. So there's my written notes, and there's the recording. So that you could see that could be pretty handy. And then I'm going to tap save up here. Okay, here's a business card that I'm going to save as a document. Hold it really still. I don't want it to be fuzzy. There. So while I'm in this note, I'm going to, well, of course, rename it. This will be called, let's see what I'm doing. Sometimes you can't see what you're doing at the top. This one's going to be called massage. Massage, done. Okay. So, one thing I want to show you is right here, this little eye right there. If you tap on that, you can add tags. And tags are useful when you're searching. So, for example, I might have a whole bunch of files about digital citizenship or a whole bunch of files about coding, and they could be all kinds of things. They could be web pages, photos, notes, whatever. But if I put the same tag on all of them, they'll come up when I search. So, so I can call this one, I can put health, anything I think I might use as a search to find this. I might use Sue because it's my friend Sue. I might use massage. Okay, so you're just adding search terms to make things easier to find. This, I guess, would be even a lower organizational thing than notebooks, because you could tag things and not have them in any notebook and still pull them up as a category pretty quickly. So that's another way. So I could go into this guide to blogging, tap the little I, and I could say blogging. I could writing. Maybe I have students writing, and I did spell that right. Okay, and I could call it Blogger, because maybe that rings a bell for me because I'm using Blogger. So at any rate, I could tap that I as I'm entering things and tag them at that time. So another thing we have on screen here is these 3 dots right here. So let's tap those. And this is where we can delete a note, because that's always a first question when you're showing someone how to use something. How do I delete this? Because we're just playing. So we can do that. Simplify formatting. Let's find out what that does. Oh, make plain text. So if you had a lot of fancy formatting, you could turn it into just plain old text. So I'll go back here. Present turns your folder, I believe, into a slideshow. Let's try that. Yep, turns it into a presentation. And you can start and then scroll through your various notes. So it's scrolling through my notes, but my notes are not very visual here. But that's kind of handy. Okay. Go back to where we came from, and then attach. And when I click attach, I can attach things from my saved photo. The document camera, you're gonna have to play with. I'm not having good luck with that with the free account. And audio and camera, so you can attach things to your notes that way. All right, I want to show you another few interesting ways to get notes into your Explain Everything that are pretty cool. One of them is from another app, so I'm just going to go into another app here, like Notability. Okay, so here we go, is this conjugation of estar. And I want to put this in Evernote so I can organize it. So I'm going to go here and tap on the share folder, and I'm going to say open in right here. Open in, and then I'm going to click on open note in, and you can do this from just about every app there is. Okay, and Evernote is one of the first choices. It plays nice with everything. So I'm going to tap on Evernote, and it's going to open it up. And if you notice here, I can change the notebook too. So I can tap on notebook and decide to send it to my home notebook. I can rename it here if I want to. I can just call it Estar and then save. And it doesn't even make me leave the app. That's one of the things I love about it. It sends it over to Evernote and I can keep working. A lot of apps will bring you to the other app in order to share it. So I wanted to show you that. Another way is if you're web surfing. Let me get to a Safari window here. All right, here we go. So I'm on this page and I noticed that, I'll wait for it to reload. I noticed that code.org, I'll just click to the other one, has some stuff for Hour of Code Week for students. And I want to save this resource to my Evernote so I can find it, maybe tag it or put it in a notebook and find it quickly. So I'm just going to tap the share icon here in it works in a Chrome browser as well. So you can click on that and then you can choose Evernote right there and stay browsing. It's not going to take me over to Evernote. It's just going to say, here it is, and do I want to put it in the home folder or do I want to change folder and put it in the other folder? And then again, I can rename it if I want to, or I can just hit save. And that will send that page over to Evernote. There it goes. And I don't even leave my page. I can continue to surf on the web. Another really cool way to put notes in your Evernote is to email your notes to your Evernote. So you could be in your email working and say, oh, this is something I want to save, and just forward it to your email, to your Evernote, and make a note. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But first thing, we need to get our Evernote email address. So we're going to go here to Settings, tap on Settings, and then scroll down here to General and tap on General. And you'll see this, Evernote email address. So tap on that. Okay, it's a little bit long and confusing. galatzsa.964be1@m.evernote.com. But what you can do with that is put it into your contacts. There's a note right here. Add to contacts or to clipboard if you want to copy and paste it. I don't use this account as much as my other one, so I'm going to copy to my clipboard, but you could add it to your contacts and then just type in Evernote and it will go to Evernote every time. It's awesome. All right, so I'm going to copy to clipboard, and then I'm going to go over to my email. And I'm going to click a new notebook. There we go. And I'm going to click here and go paste, and there's my address. Okay, so I'm going to call this, I don't know what, I'm just going to put in some content, and this could be, say it's about meeting notes. I could call it meeting notes and put the date, which I will just put date for now for generic. And if I use the so that would put what it would do right there is it would put a note with some content, and the title of the note would be meeting notes date. If I wanted to put it in a specific folder from here and get really fancy, I mean, I could send it right now. It would be fine. It would just send a note and I could search on it. But I'm going to show you this because I think it's awesome. If I put the @ symbol and then type home, that's going to tell it that not only do I want it to be called meeting notes with the date, I want it to go to my home folder. And if I wanted to get even fancier, which sometimes I do, I can type a # and tag it. I could tag it meeting, and I could give it other tags with a comma. I'm just going to give it one for now. And then I could send. So now I'm being really specific, and I'm giving it a title, I'm telling it what folder to put it in, and I'm putting tags on it. And I'm going to send. And then go back to Evernote and see it syncing right here. And well, whoops, I tapped one. We'll wait just a minute for it. And here it is right in my notes. Meeting notes, date meeting, it looks like. Let's see if it added the tag properly. It did not, but it did put it in the right folder, and it gave it the right title. So I guess the tagging thing, either I need to keep trying or it doesn't work. But I was excited that I could get a note into the right folder anyway. I'm not going to complain about this. So there's 3 additional ways to send it. I think it's really awesome all the different ways that you can get stuff into your Evernote. It's really endless. I'm going to show you over here in notes. I'm going to tap notes so we can see all my notes. And if I swipe, what I'm doing is, you can't see, is I'm swiping my finger to the left. And so I have some options. I can set a reminder or delete. So that's just another way to delete, or put a star on it so that it is a favorite. And if I have a star on it, I can click the star right here and all my favorites will come to the top. So again, another organizational thing that you can do. And another way to delete is just slide to the left. So, whoops. Touching things. Okay, so that's just another way to delete. And the last thing I want to show you is to share. How to share you can share your files, or you can share a whole notebook. Okay, so to share just a file, I'm going to choose a file. I'll just take this top one here and tap on it. And then I'm going to go over here to the three dots, and I'm going to tap that. And I'm going to click share, which is right on top. And it brings up a window, and I can share it with other things, or I can send it with an email. I can copy the link. There's a lot of ways that I can share that note with somebody else. If I want to share a whole notebook, I'm going to click the elephant head and go back home, and I'm going to tap on notebooks, and then I'm going to go to the home notebook. And then if you can see right here, there's a share button, and I'm going to tap that. And now I can decide who I want to share it to and whether they can edit it or edit and invite other people to it, if I want to just share it with that person or let them share it as well, or if they can just view it. So this is really handy if you're planning a trip with somebody. You could put all your notes and resources in the same folder and share it. The uses are probably endless. I think that's pretty much it as far as what I wanted to show you here. As you can see, Evernote could be used for all kinds of things. Some of the ideas, you could have something on the whiteboard and you could write your name on it, or stand in front of it and take a photo and stick it in. You could take notes at a meeting if you, I wanted to see that later. I mentioned that you could record a lecture while you were taking notes at the same time. You could take photographs of newspaper articles and save them that way. There's just tons and tons of stuff you can do with it, and I hope that you enjoy using it. Thanks for watching my tutorial.